I have said this in a lot of my videos before, that knowing when to cash out is more important than knowing when to enter the market. Let me take that again. Knowing when to leave the market, when to take money out of the market, is more important than knowing when to enter a market. Do you know why? Here are two important catalysts that has been driving the cryptocurrency industry since it was created 15 years ago. Guys, the crypto industry is 15 years old as you are currently watching this video. And in this over 1.5 decades, so far so good in this journey, there has been two important catalysts that has been fueling the growth of the industry to where we currently are today. With Bitcoin starting at $0.5 in 2010, currently selling at over $115,000 to about $120,000 as you are watching this video. Now let's talk about these two important catalysts that has been serving as the important fuel that has been driving the industry from 2010 to 2025. 15 years of the journey so far. Now, these two catalysts that I'm talking about, it's narrative and utility. Narrative, utility. Now, let's talk about how these two things drive the industry. First of all, let's talk about narrative. What is narrative? Narrative is the hope that they sell to people in the cryptocurrency space. Whether you are a low cap investor or a mid cap investor or a large higher cap premium investor, whatever class that you belong, these two catalysts decide which particular way you'll be going with your investment. The two catalysts I'm talking about is narrative and utility. Now let's differentiate the both of them, or let's expatiate on the both of them, how they operate. Now you see, narrative is the hopes that they sell, that the industry sell to the masses, to the people who are adopting cryptocurrency. Now, who is this? Who creates the narrative? The narrative is mostly created by what? The big institutions, right? They create a narrative and the community follows the narrative. But here is the thing. Most of the time, these institutions that create this narrative, they use the community as a liquidity exit or exit liquidity most times. Let's go deeper into narrative. For example, let's look at 2020, right? We had the NFT narrative. Remember in 2020/2021, there were cases where people will just create a picture of a gorilla, a picture of a monkey, a picture of an ape, a chimpanzee. They put it on the blockchain and they are selling it for thousands of dollars. Those are NFTs. Where are those things today? They've gone down to zero. Another narrative that also sold during that 2020/2021 bull market was also Metaverse. Metaverse sold a whole lot during that period. In fact, it was during that period that Facebook changed their name from Facebook to Meta. Now, people flooded the market believing, oh, we are going to the Metaverse, we are going to the Metaverse. There were even cases of where big names like Snoop Dogg and the rest of them sold properties in the Metaverse worth millions of dollars. As we speak today, where are those things? They are all gone. And also, we also have the rise of meme coins during that same time, because that was the same time that Elon Musk came and started pumping Dogecoin. Dogecoin was going anywhere, blowing up everywhere. We had Shiba Inu also started rising during that time. They have a whole lot of Inus like Wakanda Inu, Africa Inu, all types of Inus started rising during that time. Okay, now all of that thing that you're seeing that's happened during that period is all narrative. Do you understand? Now, narrative can also make you money and narrative can make you lose money. That is just the truth about it, right? If you know what will be the next narrative and you get in on time, or even if you don't know what the next narrative will be, but at least you are able to detect a narrative in the very early beginning of it coming into the news space, and you position yourself in that particular narrative, you will make a whole lot of money, because narrative drives a lot of money. Like I said earlier, narrative sell hopes, and people want to get hope. Just give them hope that, oh, if you believe in this thing, you are going to be a billionaire. If you believe in that thing, you are going to be a billionaire. It's like, as you're watching me right now, if I look at you and say, hey, you watching me right now, you are supposed to be a billionaire last year, but you didn't become a billionaire because you gave money to one woman in your village. Some of you will begin to believe that story. You see, whether be it in the crypto space, in the financial space, or wherever you find yourself, right? The best way to get people to move is getting their emotion. And how do you get people's emotion? You sell hope to them. Like somebody come now and tell you, oh, if you live a good life, if you die, you go to heaven. Well, I'm not arguing that. But what if one day the world ends and we all die and we go somewhere and we discover there's nothing like heaven? I don't know. Nobody has ever been there and came back and told us how it looks like. But I'm just saying, are you getting what the point I'm trying to make, right? Is hopes. You sell hope to people. The same way you get admission into the university, they give you hope. They'll tell you, in fact, they'll tell you this course that you're studying right now, by the time you graduate, you can work in any organization with this course that you have studied. A lot of you are graduates right now as you're speaking, you don't have a job. Some of you are graduate and you are working for somebody who never went to school. Now, what was the whole thing there? You were sold hope. They gave you hope that if you go to school, education is the key. That is the hope they were selling to you, that education is the key. Go to school. When you graduate from school, you're going to get a good job. You live a good life. They were all those things is all hope they are selling to you. And it's the same thing in the crypto. So for those of you who are bashing cryptocurrency, oh, crypto, I lost my money in crypto, I'm no longer going to put my money in crypto. That is the perfect definition of who you are. All right. At the sight of every slight challenges, you run away. That is just a perfect definition of who you are. But the same you who is casting cryptocurrency right now, you had the patience to go through 4, 5, 6 years in the university to become a graduate. And after graduating, you didn't get a job. But guess what? You didn't go back to insult that your university, to say anything you want to say about them. But because you invested a little money in crypto and you lost it, cryptocurrency is now a bad thing to you. That is just a perfect definition of who you are. You have defined yourself, all right? You are somebody who is not born to face challenges, who is not born to defeat obstacles. And if that is who you are, then the cryptocurrency space is not for you. In fact, even becoming rich is not for you. Because for every rich man that you see, for every successful person, a rich man or a rich woman that you see today, they have a whole lot of story to tell you about challenges and difficulties that they have encountered and conquered, right? So you coming into crypto and losing money, that doesn't mean you should give up. You only lose when you give up. So now, while you are pursuing narrative, okay, in the cryptocurrency space, be very, very careful to know when a narrative is about to expire so that you can cash out, transfer your money elsewhere. Okay, now let's talk about utility. Now, what is utility? Utility is more or less like a narrative, but in a different way. Utility is the actual use case of that cryptocurrency, okay, that they are selling to you. Like, for example, we have something like the Binance coin, right? Now, Binance itself is an exchange platform, right? And they have their own cryptocurrency in which they use for transaction services within their ecosystem. Are you getting the point now? They also have their own Binance blockchain, which is also powered by that same Binance coin itself. So the Binance coin is powering two things in the Binance ecosystem. One, it is powering the Binance exchange. Two, it is powering the Binance blockchain. So when you are deploying any cryptocurrency on the Binance blockchain, whatever you're doing on the Binance blockchain, you pay your transaction fee in the Binance coin, right? If you're doing selling and buying cryptocurrencies on the Binance exchange, you are paying your transaction fee in the Binance coin. So whatever one you are doing, you are using the Binance coin itself. Now that is a coin that has a utility. It has a utility use case because presently, as you and I are watching this video right now, people are actually conducting transactions on the Binance exchange. Billions and billions of dollars are exchanging hands on the Binance exchange. And as these billions are exchanging hands, the Binance coin is being used to pay for transaction services within the Binance exchange itself. Same thing, there are a lot of developers who are building blockchain applications and softwares and deploying it on the Binance blockchain, and they are also using the Binance coin to pay for services within that particular system itself. That alone is making the Binance coin itself a high valuable coin, because people need it to pay for these different services that they are using and engaging with on the Binance ecosystem entirely, right? So that is a coin that has a utility use case, and people are actually using it for that. There are a whole lot of them, like KuCoin, OKX, Gates.io. They all have their own coins that they use within their ecosystem. So these are coins with utility use case. I'm going to give you, for example, what happened to OKX. Now, just 3 days ago, OKX burned 60 million coins of their coin, right? They destroyed 60 million of their coins, thereby causing a scarcity of the coin in the market. Guess what happened immediately they did that? Immediately they did that, their coin pumped over 185%. You can go Google it. OKX coin pumped over 185%. You will see the news there. In just one day, the coin pumped over 185% because of that. You get? So these are coins that have utility use cases. Now, let's talk about the lifespan of a narrative. Now, every narrative, first of all, starts with a hype. Okay, people begins to hype it. Like for those of you in the Nigerian crypto space right now, there's one particular coin, one meme coin called Wikicat that people are hyping everywhere. Everywhere you go, people are hyping Wikicat. That is usually how narratives start. It starts with a hype. Everywhere you go, on Twitter, on Telegram, on TikTok or YouTube, everybody's talking about it. It's a hype. Now, it moves from a hype and then drives gradually into FOMO. What is FOMO? Fear of missing out. So because everybody is hyping it, you, as innocent as you are, you'll be feeling like, I don't want to miss this opportunity to, the same way I missed Bitcoin, the same way I missed Ethereum, I don't want to miss this one. So let me pump in some money. Now you fall in for the FOMO. The fear of missing out will make you pump money into that project. Now, as you are putting money into the project will now gravitate from hype to FOMO, from FOMO to overvaluation. Now, overvaluation is everybody is pumping money into the project. People are pumping money. At a point in time, the project becomes overvaluated. It becomes overrated beyond what it's supposed to be. And what happens when something becomes overrated? It crashes down. When something becomes overrated, it goes down, and people begins to lose money, right? So you now, as a smart person, when you want to trade projects that are based on narratives, right? When you begin to hear the hype, don't wait until you begin to see people pump money. That time that the hype is coming up, that is the right time you pump in your money. Okay? As a lot of people begin to FOMO in, you begin to see the coin pumped 20% a day, 30% a day, 40% a day. That is when you should begin to DCA. DCA stands for dollar cost averaging. That is when you begin to cut out. Take 25%, take 25%, take 20%. You begin to take out gradually like that. Okay? So let's assume you invested $1,000 in that project, and as that project begins to pump and pump, and you begin to see your $1,000 now at $3,000, that is when you begin to leave. Forget it whether people are telling you, oh, this coin is going to go to $10,000, it's going to another. That is when people are FOMO in. That is when the coin is becoming oversaturated. That is the time when you should be, as a smart person, be pulling out. Remove your $1,000, remove another 500, remove another 500, begin to pull out of that project, because after overvaluation, the next thing is collapse. That is exactly the lifestyle and the lifespan of every narrative in the cryptocurrency space. Just so you know, while you are thinking that you can outsmart everybody using the narrative system, just so you know that institutional investors are the one who create this narrative, and they push it with the content creators, influencers, to push most of these narratives out there in the public space. So as people begin to come in, that is when you should be living the market. I just wish a lot of you know how to trade, but I try as much as possible to keep my video clean for everyone, whether you are a trader or you are just an investor. I want my video to resonate with both parties, okay? Because I can tell you, in the cryptocurrency space, you don't have to be a trader to become a millionaire and a billionaire through crypto. You don't have to be a trader, okay? All you just have to do is to understand how to invest, and most importantly, how to cash out. I have said this in a lot of my videos before, that knowing when to cash out is more important than knowing when to enter the market. Let me take that again. Knowing when to leave the market, when to take money out of the market, is more important than knowing when to enter a market. Do you know why? Because entering the market means you are giving your money, you are removing your means of livelihood, and you are giving it to the market. That is risky. Now the problem here is, how do you get back your means of livelihood back to your hand? That is where the problem comes in, okay? So leaving the market is more important, okay? Because leaving the market means you are getting back your means of livelihood back to your pocket. Money is coming into your hands. You are taking money away from the market to your pocket, which is very, very important, because it is the one that is in your pocket that is your own. The one that's not in your pocket is not yours, because you could just wake up tomorrow morning and the whole market is down to zero, and you cannot hold anybody responsible, not even the government, nobody. That is what it is for us in the cryptocurrency space. Now let's talk about why utility is more important. Utility-based projects are more important than narrative-driven projects. Now you see, utility projects, right, don't go sporadic like a narrative-driven project, okay? They grow gradually after time. At a point in time in 2017, I'll use myself as an example. At a point in time in 2017, I had over 500 Binance coin, BNB. As at that time, it was around $2 per coin in 2017. This Binance coin, right now, as we speak now, Binance coin is selling for $850. I repeat, $850 for one Binance coin. And as at that time, I had over 500 pieces of it. But when it got to around $3 or thereabout, I felt like I've made like 50% of my money. I sold and I left the market. If I had held that money, hold it in my wallet today, imagine $850 multiplied by 500. Imagine how much that would have been for me. You get the point? So utility projects, they don't grow sporadically, they grow gradually. But here's the thing, they maintain and retain the value of your money for you over time. And not just to maintain and retain, they also appreciate, okay, the value of your money over time. And I will give you examples of coins that are utility-based driven projects, and for you to see how they have retained their value. Number one is the Binance coin I just mentioned. Number two, we have like the OKX coin. We also have like KuCoin as well. We also have that of Gate.io. These are utility-based projects. You also have project coins like Ethereum. Ethereum is a smart contract blockchain coin on its own, right? Anybody that is deploying anything on the Ethereum blockchain will need to have Ethereum to pay for gas fee, transaction fee, as the case may be, whatever English you want to use for them. They both mean the same thing. So Ethereum is one of them. You also have Solana. Solana is also a high-speed transaction blockchain coin on its own. A lot of the projects that you see today, most especially meme coins and all that, are being deployed on the Solana blockchain, right? So Solana is a utility-based driven project. You get the point. Another one is Chainlink. Chainlink is Oracle. Okay, all right, it's an Oracle-driven interoperability project itself. So these are utility-driven projects, and they retain value over time. This Ethereum that you guys are seeing today at $4,000. The first time I bought Ethereum in January 2017, I bought Ethereum at $8. Not 80, $8. That was what Ethereum was selling as of January 2017. That was the first time I bought Ethereum, $8 per Ethereum. Now, had I known that things would be like this, guys, do you know how much I could have bought as at that time, something I bought for ordinary $8, that $8 as at that time should be less than 10,000 naira. You get me? $8. Imagine it today selling for $4,000. $4,000 is about 6 million naira. So something I could have bought for 10,000 naira that time and now sold it for 6 million naira. I'm talking about 2017 to 2025. Just imagine how short it is. Just about 7 years. You get the point. So these are utility-based projects and they retain their value over time. Now, one unique difference you need to know between narrative and utility is that narrative pumps in a lot of money into the market. No doubt about that. Narrative, crypto narrative pumps a lot of money. They bring a lot of capital into the market. But guess what? It is utility coins that retain those capital, because narrative will bring in the money and lose the money to utility. I don't know whether you're getting the point, right? It's like monkey will go and hunt for banana, right? But it is baboon that will eat it. Are you getting the point now? So narrative will bring in the money, but utility will collect it back from narrative, and it is utility that will retain it. So it's up to you to choose which of these ones you want to be serious with. And my advice for you here generally is, when you are making your investment, right, only 30% of your money should be going into narrative-based driven projects. Then 70% of your money should be going into utility-based driven projects, because these are projects that are going to hold your money and your value over time. You get me? The first time I stumbled upon Bitcoin in 2016, Bitcoin was selling for around $260. In fact, the first time I met it was selling for around $150, but the first time I actually bought a Bitcoin with my money, I bought Bitcoin at $260 in 2016. $260. That was the first time I bought Bitcoin, one full Bitcoin. There are days when I'll buy like 3-4 Bitcoin and use them, and I was using them for Ponzi program because I was participating in Ponzi platforms like MMM and all of that. You get? If I had kept those Bitcoins, imagine how much it would have been worth today. I would have been a multi-billionaire by this time. Well, I do not regret some of the stupid decisions I made as at that time. I have learned my lessons and I will never make them again. My children will not make those same mistakes. They would benefit from my own mistakes and from my own experience. And that is why all of you here in the Obicrypto community, I also want you people to benefit from this experience and this knowledge and the journey that I have gone through. Please do not learn the hard way that I learned. Learn from my own mistakes so that you will be better off and you will not make the same mistakes that I made in the past. Back again to what I said, guys. 30% of your money can go into narrative-driven projects. Only 70% of your money can be invested in, should be invested in utility-based projects. And guys, talking about narrative, guys, I made a video where I talked about 7 narratives that will begin to spring out from now to 2030. A lot of people don't know about this narrative, but these are the narrative that the institutions, the institutional money, the smart money, these are the narrative that they are already pumping money into right now. And project will start, cryptocurrency project will start deploying. They will start launching coins in this particular, in this 7 narrative. They will start launching projects in this narrative and collecting your money. Here is the thing. If you know where the future is going, imagine what you can do with that information. Imagine the power you can exercise with that information. If you want to watch that video, the link will be appearing up right here. That is if you're watching me on YouTube. If you're on TikTok, you won't see any link right now. But if you're on YouTube, the link is up right now. Click on this link to watch that video. I gave you you guys 7 cryptocurrency narratives, 7 that will spring out right between now and 2030, between now and the next 5 years. So please, if you know you are just coming into cryptocurrency, go and watch that particular video. Write them down and begin to plan yourself that, okay, these are the narratives that are going to dominate the next 5 years. I need to start investing my money in this narrative as they begin to roll out. But your strategy should be, as you invest, once the narrative becomes something that everybody is talking about globally everywhere, that is when you should be living. That is when you should be pulling your money out of those narrative-based projects and pumping in your money into utility-based project as of now. With all I have said about narrative, let's not disregard the power of narrative, because no matter how powerful a utility project is, no matter how much a coin has utility attached to it, if nobody talks about it, it won't go anywhere. Money will not pump into it. So we still need narratives to bring in money into any particular project. Let's not dispute the fact that narratives helps bringing money into the market. But like I said, you should be smart and be thinking like the smart money, right? Because there are two types of people in the market: the smart money and dump money. Dump money is retail money. And who are the retail money? The masses. The masses, right? Smart money is money that comes from the classes, people who have access to inner circle information. And that is what I'm bringing for you guys, those of you who are watching the Obicrypto platform here on YouTube or TikTok, wherever. I am trying to drag you people into the inner circle of the classes. That is why I made that video I just told you guys to go and watch, where I gave you people a list of 7 crypto narratives that people do not know right now. But these are the narratives that will dominate from now to 2030. Please go and watch that video if you haven't done that. And while I'm speaking highly of utility-based project, just so you know, not all utility-based projects can actually retain money for you, because some of these utility-based projects, they promise a lot of technological advancement or development that are not feasible, right? Imagine somebody now coming to tell you, okay, they want to build a project that is going to be able to, they'll be able to create a human being, right? I'm not talking about a robot, but they'll be able to create a human being, and they are building a cryptocurrency project around that particular utility. Those are utilities that are not feasible. Maybe not now, maybe in 100 years time to come, but they are presently right now, they are not feasible. So these projects are just out there to collect your money and they'll go. I know a whole lot of them that have done things like that. A lot of projects that have come with utility use cases and they are dead. For example, we have Electronium. There's another project called Fidelium. Fidelium was supposed to be the fastest arbitrage trading platform. Okay, now imagine a platform where one particular exchange platform, I don't know how to put it this way. Okay, for example, let me give an example now. In the real conventional world, let me digress a little bit. You have Amazon, you have AliExpress, you have Alibaba, you have Jumia, you have Konga, right? These are all e-commerce based platforms, and they are all different. They have their own different websites. Now, imagine somebody built a website, one single website, that will now bring Amazon, Alibaba, AliExpress, Konga, Jumia, put all of them in one website. So from one website, you can buy anything you like from any of those other websites. Are you getting the idea? That was what Fidelium was supposed to be. Fidelium was supposed to be an exchange platform that connects other platforms together, that brings other platforms together. So from the Fidelium platform, you'll be able to trade on Binance, trade on Bybit, trade on any exchange platform, all within the Fidelium platform. In other words, it means that you do not need to have an account with Binance, Bybit, and different other exchange platforms. All you just need to do is have an account with Fidelium, and you can from Fidelium trade with all these exchange platforms. Guys, I can tell you that at the end of the day, that project is nowhere to be found. They did their ICO. I promoted the ICO in 2017. But as I speak to you right now, that project is dead and gone. The CEOs, the founders of that project, we can't locate them anywhere. So yes, there are utility-based projects that will sell you features or futuristic functionalities that are not feasible, that cannot be achievable. They will just come and then collect money and go. So while we are talking down on narrative, let's not forget the fact that utility-based projects also have their own issues. But this is the reason why you watch Obicrypto. Here at Obicrypto platform, I have given you people a list of utility-based projects that are guaranteed, and they are working, and they are going to be here for the long term. Guys, I made a video where I gave top 10 cryptocurrencies to have for you to buy in the month of August as we work towards the last quarter of the year. If you not watched that video, I will put it in the next card here that will be appearing towards the end of the video. You should be watching it right here. Go and watch that video so that you see the top 10 cryptocurrencies you should have in the month of August. Guys, my name is Obicrypto with over 8 years plus of experience in the cryptocurrency space. All I ask of you to do right now is hit the subscribe button, follow this channel. That is the only way you can support what we are doing here on the Obicrypto network. I'll see you guys in the next video. Obicrypto over and out.
This is not a financial advice. Do your own research.
Obicrypto, way money they go, no good don't make you savvy road. Every update it makes sense. Crypto knowledge not the main flex.